And welcome, sports fans, to today's Roundtable, and glad you joined us as it has been a great week of high school basketball and certainly a great finish to the week. Last night, Friday night in the area, especially in the game that we covered, New Madrid County Central and Dexter over New Madrid. What a clash that was between these two teams in the CMO Conference and also in the Class 4 District. And we're going to have the recap of that, including the highlights from tip-off to the end, and what a great finish that was in New Madrid last night. Of course, New Madrid getting that win in overtime, but we're going to have a whole recap of that and the matchup going forward and a look at the CMO Conference in totality, and what a great week it was. We had a busy week here on YHC going back to Thursday night, South Pemiscot-Campbell in the Boot Hill Conference, and we saw Blake Fowler being recognized for reaching the 2,000-point mark. We'll show the recap of that and footage of him being recognized, and a great accomplishment for him there in Campbell. And also we'll take a look at those the highlights from South Pemiscot-Campbell, and then also Bloomfield and Bernie back to Tuesday night in the Stoddard County Conference. And there's going to be some conference tournaments coming up over the next few weeks, including the Stoddard County Activity Association tournament getting underway Monday in Bloomfield, which will be wrapping up on Saturday, which will be on hand to cover and broadcast for Saturday. We'll give you the brackets and the details on that, and also some updated state rankings for Missouri. We got a handful of teams there in the mix for the state rankings for Missouri here in Southeast Missouri, and we'll touch on those as well as some other headlines from the area from this week. And busy week, including last night in the area. So let's get ahead to the games from last night. First, starting off with the thriller, the overtime thriller we carried last night here on YHC, and that was, of course, New Madrid County Central and Dexter. And what a game that was last night over at New Madrid. Big matchup, not only in the conference, the CMO Conference, but also in the Class 4 District 1. They're both in the district, going to be fighting for that top seed. And well, that lived up to expectations. Actually exceeded my expectations. I thought we'd have a game pretty close to the wire. I think it probably could have went, probably 5 points or so either way. But I thought probably New Madrid had the edge for one being at home, and then also having a little bit of a size advantage over Dexter, and certainly the physicality and the athleticism they bring, and being able to control the boards and control the paint, which they did much of that game last night. But Dexter came out and really put on a show offensively. They really shot the ball well, moving the ball, playing in rhythm, really getting into a rhythm, shooting the ball from the perimeter, also attacking the paint, actually forcing some turnovers, getting out in the press and forcing turnovers. Made a great matchup. Let's go right to the highlights from last night. And taking a look here early on, got a three-pointer from Andrew Ellinghaus, getting the Bearcats started from the outside here. Nice dump-down pass, and that's Donnie Brown for the score. Here we see Andrew Ellinghaus sizing up, shooting the three, knocking it down. And here we see a steal off the inbound. Peyton Driscoll getting a quick bucket for the Bearcats there. And we see here nice drive to the basket and finish here for the Eagles. And here we see Dylan Seitz take it all the way in for the score on an impressive drive there. And now it's nice score at the basket there for the Eagles here. And nice backdoor cut. Ellinghaus finding the back door there for the score. Here, dump down. Donnie Brown getting an easy two off the nice assist. And we see here, nice block. Jadis Jones coming over for the block. Impressive block there at the rim. Here, a three-pointer on the right side. Ryder Bowles knocking that one down. Here, nice spin and finish from Cole Nichols. Great finish there from him. Now, just a few moments later, Ryder Bowles spin move into the paint with a nice jumper. Here, nice drive to the basket. Peyton Driscoll, impressive finish there. And Driscoll again on the drive, finishing at the rim. And we see here Donnie Ray Brown hitting one from the corner, and he had a big night for the Eagles with 20. And we see here nice dump off finish, and a lot of points being scored in the paint in this one. Here, three-pointer on the left side. Dylan Seitz knocking that one down from the corner. And we see here nice bucket there underneath. I believe that was Jadis Jones. Here Jones again getting a tough bucket underneath. And backdoor cut, nice finish there on the backdoor cut. Saw quite a few of those from the Bearcats last night. And three-pointer, that's Donnie Brown again, knocking down some big shots. Here, Cole Nichols stepping into that three here into the second half. And you see here, it's just nip and tuck the whole way. Three-pointer on the right side, up and good for Ryder Bowles. And here, nice drive to the basket and getting that runner go for Williamson. And another three-pointer on the right side, up and in. And you see these three-pointers really falling well for the Bearcats. Nice backdoor cut and finish for Ryder Bowles. Nice finish at the rim. Another three-pointer up and in. And here we're heading into the last part of the third quarter. And a shot up, and Williamson finishes that one off. B.J. Williamson, I believe, with that one. And here, nice finish at the basket for the Eagles. And this is where Eagles really attacking the basket. You see there in the open court, Williamson taking it in. And a nice shot here. Just over 4 minutes to go. Donnie Brown knocking down the shot for the three. And here, transition bucket for the Bearcats. We're coming down to the end here. And big plays being made here. Basket and the foul at the rim for the Eagles. Get them the tie at 59. And a nice drive and finish for the Bearcats here. They're up a couple here. And another bucket at the rim for the Eagles. Ties it up at 61. Then a three-pointer on the right side. Cole Nichols knocking it down. Give them the three-point lead. Then it's Donnie Brown, of course, knocking it down to tie it back up at 64. And a dump down. Jadis Jones with the bucket. Gives the Eagles the lead, or the Eagles by 4. Here a steal and a basket by Driscoll, and then a step out by Driscoll with the kick and ties it up, or gives the Bearcats the lead. And then we got the 2-point leads here. There's a flurry there at the end. The Driscoll basket, I believe, tied it at that point. And let me make sure of that. Yeah, the Driscoll basket there tied it at 71, and we didn't get some of the shots there at the end, but that was the bucket to win it right there between Dexter. Sorry about that. See this right here? That was a bucket by Marcellus Phillips to win it for the Eagles. They won it on that play right there, that drive. And kicked there right at there were 6 seconds to go, and that timeout was called. And Marcellus Phillips hit that little runner right there, little bunny right there in the paint to give the Eagles a victory at 6. We didn't have the very last, but basically Dexter had the inbound, full court inbound. They went and got the ball to Cole Nichols on the right side. And they closed out on him, not able to get the three off, so he dribbled to his left, little runner right inside the three-point line off the glass, no good. That ended the game. And a crazy finish to this one. And it was after Driscoll hit that three to tie it up at 71. It was there was a timeout called, and I think it came from the bench for New Madrid, and there was a bunch of timeouts called late in that game. And after that 71, there was about 16 seconds left, I believe, at that point. After the Driscoll three that tied it up at 71, there was a timeout call by New Madrid. Didn't have any timeouts. So a technical foul. The ball went right back to the Bearcats. They were down 3 with 16 seconds to go after that three. They tied it up. And then a subsequent technical foul. Cole Nichols goes to the line, hits 1 of 2, so they're up 72-71 at that point. They take the ball out of bounds at half court due to the technical. They inbound it to Cole Nichols. He's fouled with 16 seconds to go and goes to the line, misses both free throws. So it's still 72-71. New Madrid comes down in that flurry, that full court flurry there. And you saw where that ball handed off from Williamson to Jadis Jones. Scores in the paint to give them the 73-72 lead at 6 seconds to go. And then that last shot by Nichols was no good. That ended the game in overtime. So quite a crazy finish there. It looked like New Madrid was gonna, they were up, 3 points under 20 seconds to go. Seitz got the ball, ended up with the loose ball underneath the basket, kicked it out to Driscoll for that three. Then the technical foul. All of a sudden, it's just a matter of seconds. The momentum totally shifted. The three-pointer by Driscoll, the timeout, then the technical free throws for Dexter. Only hit 1 of 2, and then Nichols goes to the line, misses the 2, and then coming back down, and New Madrid scores to win the game by 1. So, it was just kind of frantic there at the end, how the momentum was just shifting in just a matter of seconds of gameplay. And crazy finish, of course, last night. And it come down to the end where New Madrid made that, had about 16 seconds to go, came down, scored in a matter of about 9 or 10 seconds there, and Dexter just unable to get that last shot to fall. But one of the best games that we've ever done here on YHC. I tell you, if you haven't watched that game, didn't get to catch that game, go back and watch it. Go to our Facebook, YouTube channel, watch it here on YHC for the replays. Probably the best game we'll probably do all year. And the thing is, they're probably going to match up once again come district time, I would assume. But great game. It seemed like, each team would make a play. It's like, oh, well, that's, it's going to be hard to answer that. And then the team, whether it's New Madrid or Dexter, come back and answer it with a big play of their own. I saw some big shots there. Donnie Brown seems like that dude is just he's just a clutch player. It seemed like going back to last year, he had a big shot, I think, in the district semis over Kennett to advance them to the district championship. Big three-pointer last year. Big three-pointers last night. They're late in the game to keep it right there with the Bearcats. But the Bearcats come up with some big shots. See those fourth-quarter three-pointers that were falling across the board for the Bearcats? They shot at a very high clip from three last night. And some great performances in that one. I think taking a look at the high scores from last night's game. Let's take a look here. Peyton Driscoll in tonight with 21 points. Big night for him, inside and out. Saw him hitting those three-pointers and then driving it and finishing at the basket, which is no easy task against these, the length of New Madrid there in the paint. Great night for him, both inside and out, and defensively as well. He came up with some key steals in that game as well for the Bearcats, followed by Ryder Bowles hitting shots all over the place last night, and also finishing at the rim for him as well. Andrew Hellinghouse, an impressive night with 13 on the night from him, and some nice performances down the way too. You've got Cole Nichols had a good night. Dylan Seitz came in and got some nice buckets for them as well. And for New Madrid, Donnie Brown, big night, 20 points, had some points there in the paint. Being able to get some good ones there in the paint, and then the three-point shots, big three-point shots that he was hitting. I think he hit two there late to really keep it close there for the Eagles there in the end. And then Jadis Jones had a nice night, 19 points, really did a great job on the boards, especially the offensive boards, got a lot of points there in the paint as well. Shamar Williamson had a nice night with 15. Was that 15? 15. And B.J. Williamson had a great night as well. So contributions across the board from both teams. One of the best games that we've ever done. Just so impressed with both teams. I had high expectations going in, but even so exceeded my expectations last night. I was very impressed by both teams. Expected an up and down game because Dexter a little smaller this year. Not a lot of size on the front line, so a lot of guard play for them. They like to spread it out. Use the dribble drive to penetrate, kick to open three-point shooters, which we saw last night, and they hit it at a high clip. New Madrid, kind of a contrast to them. They, certainly playing against a zone, that 1-2-2 zone of Dexter, like to penetrate, get shots in the paint, and really clean up on the offensive glass, which was a big part of the Eagles' victory last night. But they're not typically a perimeter team, but Donnie Brown really shored that up from the outside for them last night, hitting some big threes down the stretch, and just very impressed with that game last night. I think we'll be seeing that rematch in the district final, and we'll talk more about that in our next segment for some headlines from the week. So we'll talk more about that in our next segment. But just a great game. I just want to keep going on and on about this game. We'll get to the rest, but it was just big plays. I mean, that's one thing about. There's always close games. There's always overtime games. But when you see the playmaking that we saw last night from multiple players, usually we'll see one or two players, for each team, or maybe one player for each team making plays all night, and it comes down to those two kind of filling up the stat sheet. But you see there how the balance of scoring was. There wasn't a player that scored over, I think, 21 points in the game. As much as playmaking we saw last night, it was across the board. And a lot of contributions across both rosters, and just a really fun game to watch and cover. And certainly, if you're a basketball fan, you can't come away with a much better game than we got last night in New Madrid. So, congratulations to both teams. great game, and certainly a fun watch for the rest of us to see. And let's go to some other games. Staying in the CMO Conference, Sykeston over Kent, a big win, getting a key, or certainly a much-needed conference win for the Bulldogs last night, 71-42 over Kennett. Then Jackson over Scott City, 60-47. Advance over Meadow Heights in a game that we covered on CMOSportZone.com and Local 95 on Go CMO Fiber TV. That Advance of Meadow Heights, getting that win up there in Meadow Heights, 63-40. Impressive win for the Hornets last night, and impressive week. We'll talk more about that in our next segment, but Advance looking good last night. Notre Dame over Saxony Lutheran, 83-31. No problem for the Bulldogs last night. Kelly over Delta, 91-62, and Kelly continues its impressive season. Oran over Bell City, 59-24. Chaffee over Oak Ridge, 67-58. South Pemiscot over Zenith Huntersville in the Boudel Conference, 70-61. Portageville over Malden in the Boudel Conference, 66-50. Donovan over East Prairie, 63-44. Woodland over Bloomfield in the Stoddard County Conference, 46-32. Crothersville over Hayti in the Boudel Conference, a big rivalry game there in Pemiscot County, and Crothersville on top, 78-60. That's a team to look out for. Crothersville's kind of floating under the radar this year a little bit, but they've had some impressive games this year, and not a bad team there in Pemiscot County and Crothersville. Hawcom over Risco, 78-76. That was a close one there in the Tri-County Conference matchup. Advance over Scott City, and this is going back to Thursday night. Thursday night in a game that we brought to you on CMOSportZone.com and also on the Local 95 Go CMO Fiber TV. That was Advance over Scott City, 60-52. 60-52, Advance over Scott City. And Campbell over South Pemiscot Thursday night, 85-64. Nice conference win there in the Boot Hill Conference for the Campbell Camels. Also, we got Clarkton over Cougars, 79-50 in the Tri-County Conference. And then back to Thursday as well, Zenith Huntersville over Caruthersville in a close one, 62-60. I think that was a buzzer beater coming down to the end in that Boot Hill Conference matchup. And if you want to watch some replays of the games that we've had over the last couple of days, that Dexter-Pneumatic County Central game, you can watch later today here on YHC Saturday at noon, and then again, actually that'll be about 12:30 for that one, 12:30 on Saturday, and then 6:30 as well on Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m., and you can watch on demand anytime. Go to our website, yhctv.com, or even go to our Facebook and YouTube pages, and you can watch the replay on demand anytime on our online platforms. And probably I'd say a top 5 game that we've done in certainly the 12 years I've been here at YHC. It was a great one. And South Pemiscot versus Campbell, that Boot Hill Conference matchup we did Thursday night, and that broadcast, you can watch that replay today at 2 o'clock, Saturday at 2, and then Saturday at 2, and 8 p.m. as well, and then Sunday afternoon at 2:30. That South Pemiscot-Campbell matchup, and you can also watch that online at yhctv.com and our Facebook and YouTube pages on demand. And actually, let's take a look at those highlights from that South Pemiscot and Campbell. South Pemiscot-Campbell matchup from Thursday night. Let's go ahead and go to the highlights of that win for the Campbell Camels. And here, taking a look here, early on, Campbell getting off to a nice start, a finish at the rim for Blake Fowler here. Nice dump off, 2 dump offs. That's a nice assist there from Morrison. Now we see here Blake Fowler, a steal, takes it all the way in for the score. And we see here a lot of steals and transition buckets. Nice behind the back pass from Fowler to Charlie Parker for the finish. So here's Sean Kennan finding his way at the 3. He had a nice night, especially shooting from the outside. 3-pointer up and in. The Bulldogs only down 10 at this point. 3-pointer up in the corner, up and good. And we see here nice transition bucket. That's Fowler up for the score. And we see here Kennan, nice little reverse off the rebound. into the second quarter here. Three-pointer, another one from Sean Kennan, knocking it down on the right side. And here's swing around, three-pointer up on the left side, up and good. That's Blake Fowler again. And Sean Kennan stepping into another three, knocking it down. And see here, three-pointer. Caden Siebert stepping into that one, knocking that one down from good range there. Sean Kennan stepping into another one here into the second half. He had a nice night shooting. Blake Fowler, big night for him. I think 33 points on the night, knocking that one down. And nice drive to the basket there for the finish. And we see here, I think this is Thompson all the way in for the score. And here's Thompson again, going to get the rebound, put it in for the Bulldogs. Nice dish out, three-pointer. Blake Fowler knocking it down. And Thompson stepping in, free throw line, jumper up and in. And Fowler in transition, pulling up for the three off the crossover, knocking it down. Just a big night for Blake Fowler here. And Kennan hitting the basket and the foul there. And there's Fowler again, knocking it down. Had the hot hand for the Camels here. Nice transition bucket up and for the score. I believe that was, I think it might have been Barnett for the score there. And Blake Fowler again knocking down that long jumper. Fowler, nice dish off and finish for the Camels here. And Blake Fowler just lighting it up, stepping into another three-pointer. And we see here it's going to be a three-pointer on the left side, up and in. I believe Kennan knocking that one down again. Joey Barnett stepping into that three on the left side. And just a great night shooting for the Campbells. You see here, that was Gavin Biggs for the score there. And nice behind the back from Morrison for the score to Charlie Parker. Now Biggs looking to gets that assist for the Camels. And that's it there. So, big night there for the Camels Thursday night, and look out for these Camels. They're tough, and they're playing some big schools now. They've slotted Sykes in there on February 6th. We very well might cover that at the Sykes and Fieldhouse up there on February 6th in the afternoon. That's a Saturday afternoon. Already played Charleston, scheduled them earlier in the year, played them down to the wire. Only one loss on the year for the Camels to the Charleston Blue Jays. So certainly a fourth in the Budo Conference, and certainly could very well make a run in Class 2 this year. Look out for the Camels. Got a senior-laden group there, and well experienced, certainly led by Blake Fowler, the two-time All-State guard, and we'll talk more about him in our next segment. So we're going to take our first break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about more headlines from the week to take away from. Also looking ahead at our broadcast schedule, and we'll also get to some state rankings as well. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. We'll be back with your more of that coming up.
My name is Matt Tanner. I'm the president of First State Community Bank in Sykeston. Being part of a community-based bank for me is the top priority. We have our roots here. We provide jobs here. We give back to our school. We provide scholarships. That is of utmost importance to us besides taking care of our customers. And we have the resources of a large bank, but the ability to maintain a local presence and local decision making, a local board is an absolute astounding thing in this day and age of banking. I am Matt Tanner. I am First State Community Bank.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Dexter, talk to State Farm agent Chris Brannon today.
And welcome back, and now let's take a look at some headlines to take away from the week, certainly from last night, and talking again about that New Madrid and Dexter matchup. New Madrid edges Dexter in that overtime SEMO Conference thriller, and New Madrid now in good position in the SEMO Conference. I believe they are the only undefeated teams. I believe Notre Dame might be undefeated, but they haven't played very many conference games as of this point, I don't believe. But New Matter County Central going to be, that's a big matchup this next week. New Matter County Central plays Notre Dame, and that very well could, I wouldn't necessarily seal it, but it's close. New Matter's got wins over Sikeston, Charleston, Dexter, Cape Central, and a win over Notre Dame would, it would almost pretty much clinch that CMO conference. I would believe they beat Kennett as well. The only games they would have left in the conference would be Poplar Bluff and Jackson, I believe, but they would be heavy favorites in that Jackson matchup, and certainly would be with Poplar Bluff as well. So some of the tougher opponents in the conference they've played. Notre Dame coming up next, which they actually beat in the CMO Conference Tournament. I believe it was in that championship game of the CMO Conference Tournament. So New Matter County Central certainly in the driver's seat in the CMO Conference right now. Do got some tough games coming up, certainly with Notre Dame. That's going to be on the road up there at Notre Dame and Cape. So they'll have their hands full up there as well in another conference matchup. But a win over Cape Notre Dame could very well put them in the driver's seat to run away with the conference title and with perhaps even an undefeated conference season, which would be very impressive, certainly going back all the way to the CMO Conference Tournament the first of the year, running that through that and winning that conference tournament and winning the regular season title without a loss. That would be very impressive for the Matter County Central Eagles in that CMO Conference. So Dexter in really good shape still in the conference. They've got some tough games ahead. They've got Charleston. They still got Charleston, Notre Dame. I believe Sikeston's on the schedule still for the Bearcats, Notre Dame as well. So Dexter's probably got some of the tougher opponents in the conference still yet on their schedule. New Matter's kind of gone through those with only probably Notre Dame. That's the really toughest of the conference remaining in their conference schedule. So New Matter sits on top of that conference right now. And also in the district, we want to do a little cleanup here. From last night, we've been talking about how the district tournaments aren't having tournament sites this year, so basically the top seed will host, and that is the case. But I have found out since last night, I think we talked about it on the air, that New Matter would host the conference championship or the district championship if they were to meet up. Dexter and New Matter. Certainly, if New Matter ended up with the top seed, Dexter the 2, which is likely going to be the case unless we see a lot of fluctuation in New Matter's schedule going forward, I would say. But I've heard going back to last night between the two teams that it's been determined that Dexter will host the district championship. They will host the district championship for Class 4 District 1. I think it's regardless of whoever's in the championship, and I believe it's Kennett that might be hosting the girls championship in Class 4 District 1. I heard that last night, and pretty much reliably through both teams that Dexter will host the district championship. I'm not sure. Basically, it's just a convening of the teams in that district, basically deciding on what to do. I think it is up to the districts to actually determine where the site's going to be. And I guess as a placeholder, it's going to be to the top seed, but I guess when it comes to capacity and what school districts are willing to do with their gyms capacity-wise, what they're basically willing to accept, whether it's 25% or 50% capacity. I guess there's just a meeting of the minds there, what each school district's willing to do to host the championship. So apparently the consensus has become that Dexter will host that Class 4 District 1 championship regardless of who plays. So if we do get that rematch, New Matter County Central and Dexter, that championship game will be hosted at the Bearcat Event Center in Dexter. So, that is the case. I know we talked about it last night, maybe being in New Madrid, but looks like it will officially, the championship will be at Dexter at the Bearcat Event Center. So, changes it up a little. Just, it's at Dexter rather than New Madrid, but certainly would be a great rematch between those two. But that is a dimension in that rematch that's a little different than we probably perceived last night from the broadcast. Last night, I think we talked about New Madrid probably hosting, but it looks like Dexter will be hosting the Class 4 District 1 championship this season. So I hope we get that rematch. I know there's other teams there in the mix, and Kenneth Donovan that's going to certainly be vying for that title spot. But boy, it'd be a nice rematch between Dexter and New Madrid come the end of the year, come district time. So we'll see how it plays out, but just wanted to clean that up from last night. I know that we've been talking about that for weeks, how the district tournaments are lining up, but I guess it's still kind of basically the district teams have to come up with the format that they're going to go by for each district. So it looks like that's the way it is for Class 4 District 1 this year. And Advance. Let's talk about the Advance Hornets and the Stoddard County Conference. They had a big week this week. Got a nice road win over Scott City earlier in the week. That was actually Thursday. Thursday night, got a road win against Scott City, and the Scott City team that's pretty good this year. They've actually had a pretty good season, and Advance kind of floating under the radar a little bit. As the season Dexter's having there in the Stoddard County Conference, kind of makes it makes it to where that conference is already determined. But you got to look out for these Advance Hornets. They played Bernie really nice going back I think a week or two. Got a 1-point victory over Bernie and secured that number 2 seed in the conference. And got some big wins this week, certainly over Scott City, and then got one over Meadow Heights in a game that we covered last night on CMOSportZone.com. And Advance having a really nice week. Got to look out for them in that Stoddard County tournament. They can really mix things up for that conference tournament over in Bloomfield this next week. So look out for the Advance Hornets going forward. And Sykeston getting a CMO conference win last night. Much needed win for those Bulldogs. They've had 2 conference losses already to Notre Dame and Charleston. And certainly a much needed win for the Bulldogs going forward. And got that one over Kennett pretty decisively against Kennett last night. And that Charleston-Bernie, a lot of people looking forward to that Charleston-Bernie matchup Friday night last night, and that was canceled. And, that's just the way it is this year. Some games being canceled, and I think it was on the Charleston School District making that decision, I believe. And, missed opportunity to see a rare matchup there between Charleston and Bernie. You don't see that every year. And it would have been nice to see how they matched up last night. I believe that was down in Bernie as well. So, don't see that very often either. Charleston Blue Jays playing in Bernie. But, just a shame those two couldn't play last night due to that cancellation. But would have been a nice matchup to see there in Bernie last night. And let's talk about Campbell's Blake Fowler, and he's been one of the top guards in the area, a 2-time All-State guard, going on three times certainly this year. Reached 2,000 points this week, and did that at Crothersville earlier in the week. They got a win over Crothersville, I believe that was Tuesday night, and then recognized him Thursday night before that South Pemiscot game for reaching 2,000 points in his career, and we saw this coming for 3 years now. He's been starting as a freshman there at Campbell, and contributed right away. So you knew 2,000 points was just going to be pretty much an automatic deal by the time he got to his senior year, and that certainly is the case. And did it in pretty timely fashion. You kind of see these things done towards the end of the season, and we're just over the halfway point, probably approaching 2/3 of the way through the season, and he secures 2,000 points, and he'll certainly get up over 21 to probably 2,200 points at this point for the remainder of the year, and had a great night to do it on as well. I think he had 33 against South Pemiscot the other night, and we'll go ahead and show the recognition of Blake Fowler. We were there on hand for that game Thursday night, and we'll just show the pregame recognition for Blake Fowler from Thursday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we would like to take time to recognize the great accomplishment of one of our Campbell basketball players. Tuesday night, our boys played at Crothersville, and during that game, Blake Fowler scored 26 points. His 26-point outing, along with the help of great teammates who always put the team above themselves, helped Blake reach the 2,000 career point total for varsity basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, final place as we celebrate the great accomplishments. Congratulations on this accomplishment. We're so happy to see you and see your hard work pay off.
And you see there, Blake Fowler recognized pregame there from Thursday night for reaching 2,000 points, and his dad there's the coach there, Steve Fowler, and it's got to be special for him to be a part of it. Certainly to be a part of it as a father, but also as a coach right there, being able to see it all along for the last 4 years for Blake Fowler in his tremendous career there at Campbell, and certainly one of the top guards, if not the state, but certainly in this part of the area here in the Boot Hill in southeast Missouri, and Blake Fowler. And before we go to a break, I want to clean up a little bit, do a little cleaning up today. But talking about New Matter County Central and Dexter, actually New Matter County Central in their conference, they actually have already defeated Cape Notre Dame in the regular season. That was directly after the CMO Conference Tournament. The very next week, they defeated them by 5 points. So New Matters only has Jackson, Poplar Bluff, and Sikeston remaining in their conference. So they've pretty much got the toughest teams out of the way in the conference, and got Bluff, Jackson, and Sikeston remaining in the conference. So looks like certainly New Matters in the driver's seat, and just got to secure the rest of that schedule to win that CMO Conference regular season title. So I know I talked about they had Notre Dame coming up next, and that's not the case. I actually think they got Poplar Bluff coming up next. They've already defeated Cape Notre Dame. So New Matter's even better off than they were previously in the show. So look out for New Matter. They could surely run the table for that CMO Conference title. And let's take another little break here. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with some updated state rankings, and also we're going to take a look at our broadcast schedule going forward.
If you or your loved one has disabilities that cause you to need a little help, Boot Hill Area Independent Living Services can provide the assistance you need. At Bales, we want you to have control of your life and assist you in thriving in an independent lifestyle. The Consumer-Directed Services Program allows you, the consumer, to choose who assists you in conducting your daily activities. Bales serves Stoddard, Dunklin, New Madrid, and Pemiscot counties. Call or visit our office in Kennett to see how we can help you maintain your independence.
All right, now let's take a look at some state rankings. Let's take a look at some updated state rankings for this week in Missouri. And starting in Class 1, South Iron remains at number 1, followed by Mound City, Winston, Golden City, Lockwood, Jefferson, Northwestern of Minden, then Green City, Leeton, and Chadwick. Rounding out the top 10 for Class 1. Going up to Class 2, we've got Lakeland on top at number 1 still, followed by Crane, Mid-Buchanan. The Campbell Camels at number 4 once again this week. Oran moves up from 6 to number 5. Then followed by Princeton, Western, Wellington Napoleon, Smithton, and Northeast Cairo. So you got Oran and Campbell there neck and neck there in the state rankings back to back, and could potentially see them in the state tournament down the road. And in Class 3, Hartville at number 1. They actually defeated Greenwood, I believe, in a matchup recently, so that's why they flip. And Hartville at number 1 there, followed by Greenwood, Monroe City, Thayer at number 4, Summit Christian of O'Fallon, Skyline, Stratford, Iberia, and Lynn, rounding out the top 10 in Class 3. In Class 4, Vashon and New Matter County Central remain at number 1 and 2 this week, followed by Country Day, Miller Career Academy, Priory, Father Tolton Catholic, Hollister, Blair Oaks, East Newton, and Center of Kansas City. So New Matter remains there at number 2 this week and undefeated, and have a really good shot at going undefeated for the season, as the hardest part of their schedule is behind them. Even though they got some good CMO Conference opponents coming up, they've got the hardest part of their schedule behind them could see an undefeated regular season from the Central Eagles this year. Carter Ritter on top at number 1 in Class 5. They're the defending Class 3 state champion. And on top of their Class 5 at number 1, followed by DeSmet, Mexico, Webb City, University City, Cape Notre Dame. They're at number 6. Lafayette of St. Joseph, then followed by St. Dominic, Platte County, and Kirksville. And the Class 5 state rankings. So there you go. There's the local rankings, seeing quite a few of our local teams there. Certainly Campbell and Nevada County Central with Oran as well. They're in Class 2. And a little further out is Thayer and South Iron out that way. They're in the mix. So, wouldn't be surprised if we see some other teams there in the mix. You might even see the Dexter Bearcats sneak into that top 10 in Class 4, even though that's their 3rd loss of the year. 2 of those losses coming in the CMO Conference tournament. They actually had a couple kids out during that tournament that really hobbled them there in that tournament. So, even with 3 losses, I think they would have a good shot at getting into that top 10 with the wins they've got. And certainly the game with Nevada County Central, I think, is going to open up quite a few eyes for the Bearcats, and wouldn't be surprised over the next few weeks if we see Dexter in that top 10. And we're going to take one more break, and we're going to come back with our broadcast schedule as well as the Stoddard County Tournament bracket that will get underway this week in Bloomfield. We'll be back with that.
A few days ago, we had a customer come by the Kent dealership looking for a new truck. I had a really good visit with Phil and our salesman. Phil had his Army t-shirt and Army cap on, retired military. We're so proud of our troops, our active and veterans like Phil. Phil left in his new truck. We all enjoyed the visit. Best price, best service. Glenn saying, God bless our troops.
And now let's take a look at our broadcast schedule going forward. And let's first starting here on YHC TV on Sparklight. We've got coming up this week on the 26th, that will be Tuesday, Risco at Gideon. That's a Tri-County Conference matchup we'll bring to you from Gideon. Then Thursday night, we got Malden at Kennett. Dunkland County clash there for Malden at Kennett. Thursday night, then the 29th, Friday, we got New Madrid County Central at Portageville. Battle of New Madrid County there, and we'll bring you that next Friday night on the 29th. And then the next day on the 30th, we've got the Stoddard County Activity Association final night. That'll begin probably around noon, and 6 games for January 30th on that Saturday. That'll be a week from today. Next Saturday, we'll have the final 6 games. That's the consolation, 3rd place, and championship games for both the JV and varsity tournaments. 6 games total throughout that Saturday on January 30th next week. And taking a look at upcoming games we got on the Go SEMO Fiber Network that you can also catch on SEMOSportZone.com. And the 26th, I think it's Tuesday night, we got Saxony Lutheran at Kelly. And then Friday night, we've got Notre Dame at Jackson. I believe Notre Dame at Jackson on the Friday. So as long as those games hold up for us and the arrangements, those are the games we intend to do this coming week on Go SEMO Fiber Television on Local 95 and also at SEMOSportZone.com. And now let's take a look at the Stoddard County Activity Association tournaments, and starting off with the varsity tournament, Dexter with the top seed. They'll take on 8th seed at Bloomfield, 4th seed at Woodland versus 5th Richland, 2nd Advance versus 7th Bell City, 3rd Bernie versus 6th Pemiscot. And that's the first round matchups that'll get underway Monday there in Bloomfield this year at Bloomfield Gymnasium. And should be, it's going to basically come down, I believe, to Dexter and either Advance or Bernie. That semifinal matchup with Advance and Bernie will be a good one, and it'll probably come down to the end, much like the regular season matchup from a few weeks ago. And we'll be looking forward to that there in Bloomfield. And the JV tournament, Bernie with the top seed in the first round bye. They'll take on the winner of 4th Pemiscot and 5th Woodland, 2nd Advance versus 7th Bloomfield, and 3rd Dexter versus 6th Bell City. And that pretty much wraps up our local coverage. Big weekend in NFL playoffs, into the conference championships Sunday afternoon. We've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Green Bay Packers at Green Bay. Tampa Bay having to go on the road throughout this whole postseason as the 5th seed, and should be a great matchup between those two, between the Buccaneers and the Packers, and two great quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. You don't get to see them very often, certainly in the playoffs, with sharing different conferences over their careers, now both playing in the NFC. So two big quarterback matchups there with Rodgers and Brady, and certainly going to be a little change for the Buccaneers. Got to go up north to take on the Packers in the cold up there in Green Bay and Wisconsin. So it's going to be a little bit of change of scenery for them. But Green Bay 3.5-point favorites in that matchup with the Buccaneers, and that'll be at 2:05 on Fox Sunday afternoon. And I'm sure Aaron Rodgers probably going to be the favorite to win MVP. We'll see that in a couple of weeks. Whether he wins that, it looks like he's going to be the favorite to win his 3rd MVP award in the NFL in his career. Pretty impressive. Great season from Aaron Rodgers as well. Tom Brady as well had a great year. And over on the AFC Championship, a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of drama in this one. Patrick Mahomes going down with a concussion in that divisional matchup last week against the Browns, and he is cleared to play. He will be starting and playing for the Chiefs Sunday, and that'll be a 5:40 start on CBS. And the Chiefs are 3-point favorites over the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills putting together a great season, winning the AFC East, winning their divisional matchup, actually their wild card matchup a couple weeks ago, and winning their divisional matchup last week over the Ravens, a very talented Ravens team. And the Bills looking good. They got a balanced team across the board, and certainly could give the Chiefs some trouble late in the year. They gave the Chiefs all they wanted earlier in the year up in Buffalo. Came down to the very end. Mahomes had to put together a great drive and a great finish there to give the Chiefs the win. But it won't be easy for the Chiefs to get back to the Super Bowl and try to repeat, as the Buffalo Bills will certainly be tough out for the Chiefs. It will be at Kansas City, of course. Kansas City having that top seed, finishing the year 14-2, and should be a great matchup between the Chiefs and the Bills. Again, the Chiefs 3-point favorites in that matchup. So look forward to those conference championships. We will have the Super Bowl matchup determined after this weekend. Will be played in Tampa Bay. That's what the Buccaneers could be playing for, playing in their home stadium if they can secure the victory over Green Bay. And we'll see if that happens. Never been done before, playing in your own stadium for a Super Bowl, but Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, Florida. They are allowing some fans. I believe it's 22,000 fans. That's quite a good number of fans they will allow in for the Super Bowl this year. And we've seen that over the last couple of weeks. Teams and stadiums starting to kind of relax the attendance policy and starting to allow some attendance into the stadium. So it's good to see. It's actually last week, certainly last week in the playoffs, hearing some fans. I know that's been missing from these broadcasts, watching them. Just that, the fans are such a big part of the NFL, and not hearing them, it's just basically a scrimmage out there, a televised scrimmage, it seems like, for much of the year. And it's good to see some fans interacting in the game. It's good to see. So we'll see how it all plays out this weekend in the NFL. Very exciting time, and certainly in high school basketball, exciting time right now. These conference matchups are great. Big-time matchups across the board in the area, and we got much more to bring to you here on YHC, and we'll be looking forward to seeing how it plays out through the remainder of the year. Hopefully you'll join us right here on YHC TV, as well as Go SEMO Fiber TV and SEMOSportZone.com. Actually, we're going to try to get that website finished up. I've been saying that for about the last week or two, but we've had a lot of distractions this week, a lot of things to get taken care of, and also we plan to release our top 25 poll this week, and planned on doing that this week, but just didn't happen. A lot of things to do, and we'll try to get that done this week. So that's going to do it for us today, and hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you next time, and until then, I'm Tyler Wagner. Have yourself a great weekend. Take care, everyone.